Hi guys, what is going on? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel where I focus on free-to-play and PvE progression mostly. And guys, what could be more free-to-play than doing a video about the synergy of the last 3 logger-in champions, which this video is going to be about, which I'm very much looking forward to. We want to place poisons with Xenomorph, spread them with Mikey, explode them with Ezio. And that is going to get us through quite a few PvE areas. I want to test that in Dragon Stage 10 on hard mode, Spider Stage 10 on hard mode, Phantom Shogun Stage 25. I'm super interested in that. Haven't done that yet. And then I also want to look at the event dungeon. That's going to be very tricky because the stat requirements are painfully high there. Against waves, this strategy has a bit of a flaw, and that is the fact that we need to get back to our abilities. We need to get back to the poison explosion. We need to get back to Mikey's spread. And there is 2 main options that we can use here. I think either reset with Donatello. There is a very good free-to-play option. There is other options as well, but there is a free-to-play option. Renegade, Knights Revenant faction, a Void rare champion. Very decent for that. Obviously, if we have Donatello, he's better at that and brings us more, so do use him. And the other thing that we can utilize, even in Dragon Stage 10 on hard mode, the minions, the waves are relatively slow. So we can just go in with our abilities against the first wave, go to the second wave, bring a freeze or CC champion that reliably freezes the enemies, at least a good portion of them, so they don't do too much damage to us, because these poison explosion teams can be a bit squishy. And, you know, when they're frozen, we just cycle back to our abilities and explode the poisons again. And then against the dragon, we obviously need to bring enough survivability. However, Xenomorph places so many poisons that we should make relatively quick work of the dragon. So that is the team. By the way, if you have Calvalax, you could continue watching this video because, you know, just for fun. But Calvalax, I mean, he places a lot of poisons without spreading anything, without any shenanigans. So Calvalax is definitely much easier. There is a free-to-play option for Calvalax as well, by the way. If you are looking into the Skinwalkers faction here and go for Taurus, this guy places 4 poisons on all enemies as well on a 4-turn cooldown. So it's not as good as Calvalax, but still pretty amazing, right? You just need to reset that. But we already talked about the resetting stuff. All right, so I have relatively high speed on my champions here. You don't need them to be that fast. This is mainly because I try to tackle the event dungeon, and like I said, speed is higher there, their resistance is higher, and yeah, there is just different stats required. We'll look into that. So Mikey, you do need to watch out for the speeds though, like who of them goes first. We definitely want Xenomorph to go first. He's at 152. We're not looking at their attack here and their survivability too much, because it's mostly about their speeds and their synergy, right? So Xenomorph, 152 speed. We need 350 accuracy for Dragon Stage 10 hard and Spider Stage 10 hard. Those are the stat requirements. Just to get that out of the way, that is pretty important as well, right? Then we spread with Mikey, 144, and then we explode with Ezio, and he's at 138. My Ezio is just a bit short on in terms of the accuracy. There's another one, but that's already glyphed. All right, I guess we'll just have to hope for a bit of RNG, but I am roughly at 350, and so we should be fine. All right, but let's go into the run. So this is the team that I have put together for Dragon here. We have Ezio in the lead. The speed lead from Ezio is really nice, by the way, if you are lacking a bit of speed. We're not lacking speed here, but more speed is never bad. If you're lacking accuracy, you can bring the accuracy aura from Mikey. Really nice. By the way, Ezio is booked, at least his A2 is booked. Mikey is booked, so both are on a 3-turn cooldown, and then Xenomorph isn't booked, doesn't really matter. And then I just bring Arbiter for some more speed boosting so that we can take more turns against the dragon and also more turns against the waves. And then Yukimasa is gonna bring us the CC that we need against the second wave. No bad affinity here, everybody should be void. In terms of the presets, I want Da Vinci's design to be used as an opener, but not again on the first round, just because I'm not 100% sure if we are going to take down all enemies with that first poison explosion. We'll have to see that. And then afterwards, I'm not very interested in the A3 from him, so I just, you know, tell him to use the A2 here. Right, and then Mikey, just the main priority is the A2. Arbiter, no real priorities, and Yukimasa, I've told him not to use his AoE freeze on round 1, but use that on round 2. This should be relatively safe, in my opinion. It would be interesting if it isn't, then I'll just have to redo some stuff, but I don't really see how this should fail. I guess, like I said, it is very much possible that we don't kill everybody here on the first try. So luckily we spread everything. Right, we don't kill everybody. Yukimasa helping out here. Okay, we don't kill everybody, that's fine, in my opinion. You could, if you really bring much higher attack on your Ezio, that would help, that would dish out some extra damage. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Or you just bring another poisoner. Alright, I don't see what happened here. Why didn't we freeze the enemies? It does not seem to be a big problem. Did I do something wrong with the presets? I'm not quite sure. Doesn't really matter. Seems like we don't even need a freeze champion. We're absolutely fine. But I guess that might be due to the high speed that we have. We reached the dragon within 1 minute and 10 seconds. And the dragon should be down relatively quickly as well. Right, okay, so we might be in trouble here. Ooh, that was close. Brimstone, Mikey coming in. All right. Connection error. Alright guys, second run, optimized team. I have taken out Arbiter, I've put in Mithrala, and I did what I always do with Yukimasa here. I do confuse his A3 and A2, and so I turned off the AoE freeze instead of the one target big hit. Bringing Mithrala, I want to see what the Hex does in combination with the poisons. I'm guessing nothing, but I just want to confirm that. I think I want to turn off her cleanse ability and use that as the first choice here against the dragon after he has placed his first poisons. So we go in with A1 poisons and then we go in with the cleanse right after. That is going to improve our survivability. We have some shield on us, and then afterwards, you know, just some increased attack, increased defense. So Arbiter should help us, or Mithrala should help us against the dragon in a bit more ways than Arbiter did. Except for that, everything stayed pretty much the same. We placed the poison, unfortunately one is resisted. We placed the Hex, we spread the poisons, now we explode them. I didn't really see that, but I don't think that the Hex did much, right? Except for spreading the regular damage that we bring anyways. Alright, but that's fine. Mithrala should help us against the dragon anyways. Again, poisons. Right, no spread yet. This time Yukimasa freezes everybody, that's beautiful. Now we have a crazy amount of poisons on everybody. Unfortunately, Mikey does not attack the one with the most poisons. That is a bit weird, and I don't really know why. Now that could slow us down significantly. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe that's something with the freeze, but that really does not make sense. That is very unfortunate and a big trouble with this team really, because we can't control, unless we semi-manual this, we can't really control who Mikey is going to attack after Xenomorph. That's a big you know, a big thing here to find that on this team. That's a bit unfortunate. Haven't seen that yet before. Alright, so we're going in with the poisons again. Mithrala going in with the poisons. Now we can see if the cleanse has the right timing. Right, Mithrala resisting everything, being very nice. Luckily Yukimasa survives that hit. Unfortunately, Xenomorph is being taken down. We have big damage from Ezio. And then... Right, we don't have a leech out there yet, which is why everybody's having trouble to heal up again. I guess that is something that we can optimize again. Tell Mikey to use his leech and AoE ability against the dragon, not against the waves. Luckily Yukimasa is also a reviver. That's always something that we can keep in mind. And again, it's a very close call, but we just make it. This time Mithrala surviving. Alright, so this team needs some tweaking, but still, it's great that it works, in my opinion. I really like that it works. I was hoping that we would do a bit more against the dragon, but Xenomorph died relatively quickly here, so I guess the main takeaway for me is bump down his damage. He's in a damage build. Bump down his damage. Definitely do give him crit rate so that his A1 does all 3 poisons. And then bump up his survivability so that he doesn't drop from the first attack that the dragon does. All right, guys. I'm guessing you could also tell Mithrala to not use her increased defense skill against the second wave, but use that against the dragon as the first skill and not the poisons as I did. And that is going to increase your survivability as well. But in any case, I really feel like we can make this work 100%, which is great. Let's look into Spider next, because I don't want to digress for too long. We have a lot of areas that we do want to check out. Spider stage 10 hard mode. I've changed the team around a bit. Mithrala is still in there, and then Tagora just for some healing and support. And I don't think that I've changed a lot. I've told Ezio to use his A1 in the first round as the first priority. Obviously, Xenomorph uses nothing except for his A1. The spread is definitely the highest priority here for Mikey. Mithrala's Hex definitely the highest priority. And then we have Tagora, you know, just for some healing. And let's see if this works. I'm not 100% sure. Again, this should be interesting. The main thing that I want to test here, if we can make these things work with free-to-play champions that we get. And so far, I'm pretty confident. We could tell Mithrala to go in with her A1 for more poisons here. Right, but we kill the spiderlings anyways. And the spider does not heal up due to her taking a turn, because all of the spiderlings are dead. And now we should be able to just kill the spider with the poisons from Xenomorph. I'm hoping. I'm very much hoping. There we have only 1 poison. Right, the debuff bar seems to be full. Alright. This is possibly if we get another explode here from Ezio. I'm still confident. I'm still confident this is gonna work. Right, and Mithrala's A1 isn't really helping that much because she attacks randomly. Right, so the poison bar is full. Is Ezio back at his ability? No, he isn't yet. This might be a bit of a problem. Poisons, who's going to be attacked first? Can we get a drum roll? Alright, a lot of poisons out there spread from Mikey. That means Ezio's back and this is done. Alright, alright, it feels a bit wonky. It feels a bit wonky, but, you know, it would need a lot more testing from here on out, you know. Check your teams, check who you can bring. Do you have a reset champion? If you have a reset champion, this is a piece of cake. This is an absolute piece of cake. Just put that reset champion instead of Tagore, and then the poisons are going to be exploded again right away because Ezio's on a 3 turn, which is amazing, and Mikey's on a 3 turn. So this is great. Spider stage 10, all these free-to-play champions, and it works. I'm absolutely loving it. Phantom Shogun. We're rolling, guys. We are rolling. Right, guys, here we go. I did 2 Phantom Shogun runs, did a lot of talking, went to the event dungeon, did 2 runs there as well, actually 3. Made the outro, thought I was done, noticed I wasn't recording. Woo! Great, all right. So here we go again. I guess for you guys, this just means that I have done a bit more testing now and that the teams are safe and, you know, I can wrap this up a bit quicker and show you my findings. So Phantom Shogun, 350 speed. He takes the first turn. He just has a single target attack, but we do need to make sure that that single target doesn't die from that attack. That's important. And then we also need 425 accuracy because his resistance on stage 25 is relatively high. So this is the team right here. We have Mikey, I hope that's high enough. We have Mikey in the lead now for his accuracy aura, Xenomorph, Ezio. And then I try to go relatively free to play and not too many champions with 5-star souls, because we already bring our 3 champions with 5-star souls. And it seems like we don't necessarily need, you know, 2 more champions with 5-star awakenings. So Mithrala and Raktadrath for some cleansing and for some healing. Mikey, actually not really that needed, but he is a good choice here. He is a good option because he has decent survivability. He has that passive where he evades from time to time, and he is going to be our target, our Phantom Shogun target. Xenomorph just using his A1. Ezio just using his A2 in terms of his skills, Rectidrath just doing whatever Rectidrath wants to do, mainly healing obviously, and Mithrala going in with the poisons in the beginning, because why not, and then cleansing as the first priority afterwards. Let's go into the run. I was a bit worried about this one, because there is just so many mechanics and a bit of RNG here as well with the Phantom Shogun, but the runs feel very safe, at least the ones that I've done so far. 100% sure is that these guys can do it. So Mikey, decent survivability. It can be a bit wonky, you know, the activation not doing crazy damage here, but still decent damage. It can be a bit wonky when our good, what's her name, Rectidrath does not bring enough healing. We'll have to see how well Mikey does. Luckily, Rectidrath can pick him right up again when he dies. So I'm relatively hopeful that this is going to be pretty safe. So, right, I guess, yeah, this is the run. The thing is, with the 3 champions, with the 5-star souls, we are really not in too much danger of doing, you know, of upping the enfeeble debuff. The damage that we do comes in relatively quick, just because we have Brimstone, we have the poisons, but also Xenomorph, Ezio and Mikey are in damage gear, so that really helps. But you can see the poison explosion also doing pretty decent damage. And apart from that, it's just making sure that we are surviving here. That's the biggest, you know, obviously the biggest thing. It can feel a bit weird only bringing 1 cleanser. So, like, Mithrala is at 240 speed, and she seems to cleanse in very decent places here, I guess. But take this with a grain of salt. I haven't done a crazy amount of testing yet, but so far, like the runs that I've done, this is like the 3rd one now, it feels really, really safe. Even when Mikey drops, like I said, we have that revive. We have that revive with Rectidrath. Do see what champions you have on your accounts though. Not everybody has Rectidrath, obviously. She is a good choice here. But anybody that gives you good healing and a revive is definitely an option. And then Mithrala is kind of free to play. You just have to have tackled Hydra for a bit of time. This is the run. It feels really safe. I'm absolutely loving this, and we can add this to the list of things that these 3 can tackle. So far we have Dragon Stage 10 on hard mode, Spider Stage 10 on hard mode, and Phantom Shogun. Here we go with the event dungeon last. Unfortunately, I've found a trouble with the run, which means that we don't, or I can't bring enough poisons to reliably take down stage 26. Stage 27. I'll tell you in a second why. Stage 28 would have posed a problem anyways. The stat requirements just go crazier and crazier here for mid-game accounts, and for everybody else as well, I guess. But we also have a Hegemon who places or potentially places block active skills on a 50% chance here on that AoE that he brings, and he always takes the first turn regardless of the speeds. So he can really mess up all of our speeds and our speed run kind of. So the only way I can see this that we can go around this is Stone Skin or Feral or immunity gear, you know, gear pieces, because champions can't really do anything against this. You could bring somebody like Tuhanarak, but then Tuhanarak might, you know, she only cleanses 1 debuff with her passive, and so she is not gonna 100% take care of block active skills, because there might also be a decreased attack debuff there. So, you know, the gear pieces are the only things that I can see that really work. So let's talk about stage 26 though. So this is the team that I've brought, and it felt really, really safe. When you bring more poisons, then it feels really safe. I brought Mikey, you know, just regular stuff. Xenomorph places his poisons on the A1, then we had Mikey spreading that, Ezio exploding that. The reason behind this and why I thought this combination is so insanely strong, because we need to kill Narcissus and Ancora before they take a turn. Otherwise, this run is just horribly, horribly annoying. Really, with their passives, their survivability, their damage. Like, these minions are no joke. They are no joke. So I thought this is a great idea, and it is a great idea. I brought Elenarl as well for some more poisons, because just the 3, Mikey, Xenomorph and Ezio, weren't able to, you know, kill them with their first attack, with their first attempt. Arbiter, by the way, is here for the speed, because these Pontifex here and everybody else has pretty insane speeds, and we definitely need to take a turn before Pontifex or like the boss takes a turn. And 270 is the speed here on stage 27. And we also need pretty high accuracy, by the way, 450. Check out the Hell Hades stages tool if you need to know what exactly you need for the different stages. But then I noticed that unfortunately Ezio is weak affinity for Ancora and also for this very, very annoying counterattack champion. And so we place the poisons from Xenomorph, no problem. We place the poisons from Elenaral, no problem. But when Ezio comes in, he explodes everything that we have out there, regardless of the affinity. But the poisons he places are not regardless of the affinity. They are not, just placed. They are dependent on the hit that you do. So if you weak hit, you don't place the poisons, you explode everything. But Ancora and this annoying Arix, Ancora and Arix survive, which is super unfortunate. So we would have to bring more reliable poisoners. And Elenaral, it's just not enough. She brings 2 poisons when you have crit rate on her, but unfortunately that's not enough. If you have a Calvalax, a Taurus, somebody else who places a lot of poisons, probably Tomb Lord, I don't know how many he places, then this strategy definitely works. It definitely works. You can still bring Xenomorph Mikey, possibly have that Calvalax there and have a crazy amount of poisons out there, explode everything. Unfortunately, this does not work though if you don't bring more poisons. All right, guys, so I'm not going to waste more energy on another run doing that. So I guess it's a really good thing that my first recording didn't go through and or I didn't record the first time because I wasn't noticing the weak hits, or there weren't any weak hits, and I didn't notice at that time that could be a problem, obviously. All right, guys, so that's it. I think this is still really, really amazing. So I'm just going to keep farming stage 24 of the event dungeon. If you need help there, by the way, it's, just CC. That's all I do, kind of. Just CC all the waves, all the minions, and then you're relatively fine. The event dungeon boss is really bad without his companions. I think this is still insane. I think this is still really, really amazing. Spider stage 10 hard mode, Dragon stage 10 hard mode, and then also Phantom Shogun. Really great. I think Plarium nailed it with these champions, not just by themselves. I liked them by themselves every time they were released so far, and I have done quite a few videos on them, but their synergy now as well, I'm loving it. I think Plarium, thumbs up, 10 out of 10, absolutely great. Guys, please do tell me what you think. How are you using your free login champions? And yeah, I think that's it for the video. If you have any questions, please drop them down below. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then.